welcome back to the Aspirant Penetration Tester. Today we will be doing a TryHackMe lab, as you can see right here. I've done this sometime in the past, and I would like to show you how we can simulate a penetration test exercise from recon to gaining access to escalating privileges, cracking, and finding flags. So what we do here, now that I have my vulnerable lab set up, this lab is a old Windows machine that you can find nowadays in 2018. This vulnerability that we will be exploiting is the EternalBlue vulnerability. So let me just start off by getting on TryHackMe's network so I can access the lab. So now that I have now on now that I am on the TryHackMe's network, I'm gonna go to terminal and I'm going to fire off my nmop scan. So here's my nmop script, and what I like to do is that I get my mouse pad right here and I start to jot down things that I have been doing. So recon, I will now fire off this nmop scan. Just put in my sudo password. So now this nmop scan will start. So what this nmop scan will do is that it will use nmop scripting engine and search for vulnerabilities on this host, scanning all ports and service version of the ports, and I'm doing it at super fast. That is what T5 means. You have range from T1 to T5, T1 being the slowest, I think. So yeah. Also, what I want to show you is that there are multiple things that you can do with nmop. So for instance, if I wanted to know how to use nmop, I can always do man nmop to look up the manual pages, and this will give you a brief description, examples of how you can use various switches. As you see here, this is the scripting engine. And also, let's say if I wanted to know some of the scripting engine, I could do a locate.nse, and I can find all the vulnerabilities I can scan with nmop, if you get what I'm saying. So you have snmp, you have socks brute, you have all ssl targets, all kind of stuff. You can just go ahead and just walk through all of these. I mean, it's worth it if you're interested in doing these stuff. So what we'll do now is we can hit enter a few times, and as you can see, this will show you the progress of the scan. So we're at a sin stealth scan timing here, and we have 6 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. So what we can do now is that I can write down steps that I have taken. So let's say recon, and we can copy this script right here. Now after the scan, we can also find out stuff that we have been doing, are things that we found out. So alright guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop doing the all port scan. Let's say we do a port range from, I think that's why it's taking so long. Let's do 1 to, let's say 1000. So let's see what's the time on that. Alright, so yeah, this scan through 1000 ports, it looks like. And now we're doing the scan and the NSE scripting right about here. You can always press enter as I said. Okay. Alright. So now we have what this have done. We can see here that we have ports 135, 139, and 445 to be open service version. So now we can tell that this is more than likely a Windows PC. Yeah, it's more than likely a Windows 7 PC. You can see the host. We have done some fingerprinting so that we know that one of the users is John. It's John's PC, and we have seen some with the NSE vuln scanning. We have seen that Samba vulnerability access denied. This is false. This is false. But SMB vuln MS17-010 vulnerability is indeed available, and we can tell, and it tells us what's the vulnerability about. For example, remote code execution vulnerability in Microsoft SMB version 1 servers. We can now see the ID right here. So the CVE, the common vulnerability exposure. We can now, let's say if we wanted to learn more about this vulnerability that we have found, let's say in the real world, we can also go over to Google or whichever browser that you use, and you can find information on this. As you can see, it's the EternalBlue, da 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 da, and yeah, you can have a little fun with that. But for now, scan the machine if you are unsure how to tackle this. I recommend checking out nmop's room. Complete on that. How many ports are open under 1000? From scan before, we can tell that it's 3. So let's just mark that. What is the machine vulnerable to? The answer in MS. So let's go back here, and as you can see, it is vulnerable to the MS17-0-1, and we can answer that because that should be the right answer. So let's submit that. Now we're going to go over to the gain and access phase. So let me now just fire up my Metasploit, split my terminal horizontally. So let me go to my mousepad. First, I found 3 ports to be open. Also, I found M. Let me just Control V that. Control V, I should say. That's the vulnerability. We can put in the ports. Just copy this and put it in mousepad for later review. So now we can go ahead and close off the subterminal. Let me just fire up MSF console. Now, what Metasploit Framework is, it's a also a scanner, encoder, firewall evader, and payload creator. So you can use this to bypass vulnerabilities in firewalls, and also you can gain access to vulnerable devices on a network. So now that we know that this host is vulnerable to something, let's say we search for, no, I think I did something wrong there. Let's say we search for EternalBlue, and here we can see that we have the vulnerability right here that we can use. We could go ahead also and use the auxiliary scanner to tell if this host is actually vulnerable to SMB MS17-0.1. We can also do that, but for the video sake, let's say we just go ahead and iterate, and gain access because we know that this is vulnerable to it. So let's go over to the TryHackMe and see what we can do. Find the exploitation code we will run against the machine, what it is, full path of code. And I think this should be the answer, so we can now go and paste and submit. Okay, great. Show options and set the one required value. What is the name of this value? Okay, so the thing about using Metasploit, it's a point and attack framework, so we can hit show options. So now if we look here, we can see what is required, and as you can see, required, yes, yes, no, no, and everything is set except for our host. So I'm going to copy that and submit, and as you can see, usually would be fine to run this exploit as it is. However, for the sake of learning, you should do one more thing before exploiting the target. Enter the following command and press enter. So setting the payload is what you will use to get a reverse connection to from the host device to your device, the victim device to the attacking device, and we could copy that in and set the payload. Now we should be able to hit exploit, but I think what I should do for learning purposes, because I had several instances when I was hacking this device and it never worked. So let me just look up my IP for what is right here for the tunnel that I connected to try hack this lab. So I'm going to use set l host, and I'm going to control shift V in the terminal. Now I can go ahead and exploit. So something has not been set. As you can see, our host has not been set. So 144 our host. Now we should be able to hit exploit. So what Metasploit will do now is that it will go ahead and it will start to one scan the device if it is vulnerable, and next we will try to connect to the device. As you can see, we'll get certain things, but okay, so we got a win right here, and a win means that we have successfully started exploited the victim machine. Now we can hit enter. Hitting enter, you can see that we have a shell, because as you can see right here that we are now seeing a C drive for Windows System 32. So I guess I can go who am I, and it tell me that I'm NT authority system. So what it is saying is that I have full access right now to this device. So let me go over back at TryHackMe to see what we have done. So now it's telling us to, you may have to press enter for the dust shell to appear. Yes, background the shell. Okay, so I had a problem. If I hit Control Z, then I would close, well, background Metasploit framework itself, which I would not want to do. So because we're using MSF console, this is not a PowerShell command, but you could use this in Metasploit framework so that we could background the session that we have created from the attacking device to the vulnerable victim. So now let's go over back at TryHackMe. Hit mark that as completed because we have completed that. And escalate privileges. Learn how to upgrade shells in Metasploit framework. So now we need, most times in most scenarios, in real world scenarios, matter of fact, you won't just get let's say a shell that can do everything that you would want. So you would want to privilege escalate and elevate your privileges of what you can do on the device. So I have already searched this up. I think it's use shell to interpreter, and as you can see, our payload changed from this and now to this because it automatically picked up what we were trying to do and it set it for us. That is the power of Metasploit Framework. So now we can go ahead and hit show options. Now that we have hit show options, we have seen that we need to know the session of which we want the privilege escalate from a shell to a meterpreter session. So what we need to do is hit sessions, and this will show you all of the sessions that is currently available on Metasploit's framework. And now we can hit set sessions, and now we can use one to identify the session that we want to connect to. So with all that being said, all we need to do is hit run or exploit, and okay, so I keep on mixing this up. It's not sessions, it's session, and now we should be able to hit run or exploit, and it will now be upgrading the session ID. So let's see what's going to happen here. So Meterpreter session 2 opened. So let's see. Okay, wonderful. So session 2, as you can see, is now upgraded from a shell to a Meterpreter Windows session. So now we can go sessions, and if you don't know how to use the sessions command, you can always use session tag h, so it will give you a brief definition of how to use it. But I know that sessions tag I means interacting with a session, and we now choose our session. Now we have a meterpreter shell from the attacker machine to the victim machine. So now what we can do is use help, and here's all of the commands that you can run on the victim machine. So now that we have done this, let's go over to TryHackMe, and now TryHackMe will now ask us what is the name of the module, and we can scroll up, and this should be the module. So now we can go over to mousepad and we can paste that down. Oh, something is wrong here. Okay, so it's the full path of the module actually. Okay, wonderful. Select this use module path, show options. What options are we required to set? And that was session. Set the required option. You may need to, okay, we can just hit completed on this. So verify that we have escalated the system. We can go ahead and enter who I unknown command. I don't know why that is happening. Who am I? We can use GUID. Okay, so now we need to list the processes that are currently enabled on this device so we can now see all of the processes. And why this is necessary is because for most times we'll be admin on an account NT authority system, but we necessarily don't have a process in the NT authority system. So we would need to migrate to this process using the migrate process ID command, where process ID is. So what this is basically saying is that sometimes this process that you're currently running is not very stable, and attempting to migrate to another process will sometimes be a bit tedious because they will not always work. But we can go ahead and use migrate, and this will give you a brief description on how to use the migrate command. And we can migrate by name with the tag capital N, and we could use this winlog and migrate too. So this should come back with a successfully, okay, completed successfully. Great. So let's see what's the next checklist on TryHackMe. We're at task 4. Now dumping the users hashes. So if I were to go help again, you will realize in Meterpreter that there's a command called hash dump. We could enter on that, and as you can see, just a while ago they asked us for the non default users username, which is John, which we also fingerprinted and enumerated from our nmop scan. So let's just enter that. Copy this password hash to a file and research how to crack it. What is the cracked password? So here is the user's hashed password. So we could use multiple utilities on our Linux machine currently right now. So we could use this hash maybe to try and fingerprint, but I'm going to use an online utility called CrackStation, which has a database of already cracked hashes, I think. And let's see what that gave us back. And unfortunately, it has no results right here. So let me just try the second hash, and no, we can just do that and crack hashes. So as you can see, the hashes that were cracked for this, the password is no ALF and that blob of text right there, which is a very insecure password. So let's say we found the password for John, and now let's go on to finding flags. So flag 1, this flag can be found at the system root. Can you see it? That may be telling us that it's in the C drive, so we can use the cd command, which means change directory, and let's say we move from matter of fact, let's do print working directory. Now we see the proper directories that are listed for us, and we can go C colon forward slash and it's it enter and ls. Now as you can see right here, we have the flag, and I think this is read write. If I am mistaken, you can tell me in the comment section below, and we can do cat for concatenate flag, and here is our first flag. Now, Irata Windows really doesn't like the location of this flag and can occasionally delete it, maybe necessary in some cases to terminate slash restart the machine. Oh boy. And rerun the exploit to find this flag. This is relatively rare, however it can happen. So I wish I wrote down where I kept my password. Luckily, it's still stored here on Windows. Oh, so if you know a little bit about Windows, you know you have something called the SAM, which I let's see what Google gives us. I think the SAM is for the Security Administrative Manager. Let's see, SAM Windows. Okay, so Security Account Manager. So we need to find out where the SAM is located. So where are you located, Sam? On the Windows. So we can just type location on the search. I mean, everything is about information gathering. You would spend practically almost all your time information gathering. As you can see right here, we have found the SAM's location. Now we can do cd, and I think, okay, so I think we need to do the backslash is two times because we're actually executing code in Ruby. Okay, so as you can see, when we have listed the directory, we found that the flag is right here for flag 2. So we can go cat flag a tab to autocomplete that, and now we have the second flag of the TryHackMe lab. So in real life, these flags are inset in place of maybe valuable information on a system that you may have to information gather as soon as you gain access to a system in real life penetration testing. So this flag can be found in an excellent location to loot. After all, administrators usually have pretty interesting things saved. Okay, so let me just choose a directory. So let's go to C. Yeah, let's go to C. Let's run this cd users, and now we could list again cd, let's say John, because John is the user that everything on here is about. So as you can see, we're in a Windows file directory right now, and we can find documents right here. So let's cd into documents and see what happens. So list, and here is flag 3. So that is how you do TryHackMe lab. And another thing that you could possibly do is use the search function in Metasploit, and if you don't know how to use it, you can use search tag H, and that will help you a lot. And you can use search tag F to find a file. So you know that we're searching for flags. We could use the asterisk right here .txt in place of all of the flag .txt is that we will be finding. And if you search, this might take a little while to come up. Oh, I didn't even concatenate this flag. But if you, let's say you didn't want to manually go through all of this, you could just hit search tag f flag star .txt, and this will show you the location of each flag actually. So you could just cd and find these flags easily, but I wanted to show you how you most times manually just poke around in different file location. Otherwise, There's a lot of tools on GitHub that do automation, fingerprinting, and enumeration after exploiting a system, which I think is called post exploitation. So let me just cut the third flag, and as you can see, flag admin documents can be valuable. So that's a key thing to note anytime you're doing a penetration test. And as you can see, congratulations, you have completed this room. So guys, once again, if you like what you're seeing here on this YouTube channel, I advise, well, it would be very motivated, and I would be very appreciative if you hit the like button and the subscribe button down below. It really motivates me to upload more video and content for you. So if you don't like this video, I don't know what really to say. I guess just shoot me with a sniper rifle or something. Anyways, have a great day.